watch y'all sometimes and go back and watch the old ones where you were talking about crocheting in church. Wasn't that you?
Yes, ma'am. That's definitely me.
I always do. Because my mind cannot focus if I don't have something in my hands, because I'm thinking, oh, I need to make this for lunch. Oh, I got to remember to wash this load of laundry. And so it keeps my mind focused.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did not realize that apparently that is a pretty hotly debated topic, whether it's okay for you to crochet or knit at church.
I
And
made a
Depends
giant
on
blanket
your
in church. Granted, I was a teenager, but I would go to sacrament. I was raised Mormon, so we would go to our main meeting, and for the 3 hours that we had church, I would be working on this giant blanket that I started. It wasn't as big as this one I'm working on now, but it was pretty big, and it was all double crochet. It was the only stitch I knew at the time, and I was constantly working on it. I had my big old tote bag, and I'd take it to church, and I'd pull it out, and I'd be working on it while the speakers were speaking, and people would look at me. I'm like, I don't care. I'm paying attention. At least I'm not reading a different kind of book, which is what I used to do.
yeah, and I mean,
I don't think my pastor likes it too much.
Well, I sit in the sound room with my husband, so I'm not like distracting people. But yeah, my pastor knows I do it. But you ask me questions about the sermon, I can answer them. Where if I don't have something in my hands, my mind is just off somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
See, we're Southern Catholic. We're constantly sitting, standing, shaking hands, making gestures. So I don't really have the chance. But when I was going to a Baptist church, they had no problem with it at my church.
Baptist, yeah.
I mean, it really depends church to church. I mean,
sit in the back too, and we don't move.
Yeah.
I saw, I think it was on Facebook.
there.
I was on Facebook, and a pastor's wife, who is a crocheter and a designer, she brought this topic up, and she said, I have to say, my husband feels like it's very rude when people are knitting or crocheting while he's giving a sermon. And I just thought, I guess I can sort of see that maybe, but mostly it's, why does it hurt anything? You're not doing anything wrong. You're not disturbing anybody.
Well, I think it's better for me to be crocheting rather than snoring. So,
Right.
it's one or the other.
I can see where it would be distracting for other people. I mean, I can see that because some people.
Yes, but
if you're
I was
doing something,
younger.
they're going to focus on you, whether you're unwrapping a piece of gum or whatever.
That is true. And I do know that when I'm crocheting, people always are wanting to know, what are you making? Who's it for? What kind? Can I see it? That kind of thing. But I don't know. I've never crocheted at church, but I've wanted to.
well, I actually feel like I shorted myself in my education, because if I had been knitting in class and crocheting in class, would have retained far more information than I ended up retaining. I mean, and
Exactly.
I took extensive notes I'm a very auditory and kinesthetic learner. So if I can't focus long enough on what you're saying because I'm not doing anything else, I mean, I've got to have that physical distraction. And I mean,
Right.
I think if you check with whoever, like the pastor, or with me, like when I was teaching, when we would have faculty meetings, I would check with my principal and, just tell her I can focus better if I'm knitting or crocheting, whichever. And then she was fine with it.
That's good.
well, I have not seen any around here, but I did see something floating around Facebook one time where a couple of churches did actually have like knitting or crochet baskets on the pews.
I saw that.
And
I
it
thought that
had
was so
some
cool.
note saying, feel free to add to this, and these blankets are going to be donated to such and such place afterwards.
Yep.
I think what an amazing. I think that is so cool.
You are bad.
That.
I've considered asking, we've got a senior life building, and I've considered asking the director of senior life if they minded if I put a basket in the room that they meet in. and just have it there, because they have sit-down meetings and they have, bridge meetings and mahjong, and so there's a lot of opportunity for idle hands, and see if I can just set a basket in there for the prayer shawl ministry.
Yeah, no.
Well, half the seniors don't come to the prayer shawl meetings that want to come because we meet so late at night. We meet at 7:00, and they don't want to be out driving themselves. We don't break up till almost 10:00 most nights we meet.
Mm.
Yeah, I started a prayer shawl group at my church 4 years ago last
Oh,
month.
wow.
And we first at 2:00 on Mondays in the afternoon so that the older people could, come during the day. But at first we had more of a showing, but I don't think we ever were like 6 or 7 people. And
Our core group's only about 5 in mine.
yeah, now we've gone to Thursday. We were doing still the Monday 2:00 and added Thursday 7:00, but then the Monday fizzled out. Now we're just doing Thursday, but we're still a really small group.
Well, most of the older ladies got really offended that I was the leader and didn't pass over the mantle to an older woman, but I was the one who started it.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
It's been 6 years. I was 29 when I started our prayer shawl ministry.
So what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, should have done it first.
What's funny, we got 2 body older women, and then everybody else is under the age of 50.
I gotta go, guys. My husband's home for dinner. It was nice talking with you guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Feel better.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Ooh, I gotta make sure my son gets in the shower. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta yell for him.
Oh, kids. Oh,
That's better.
almost due for next round of decongestants.
Ugh, I hate that.
Very frustrating.
And no doubt. All right, let's see if this is better. I switched to my tablet. There you go.
Carrie, what are you making?
I'm working. So our first Bible study group met last Thursday, and we have a lady who's going to be 93 in April. And oh my God, she is a hoot and a half. She has just cracked me up for 2 weeks now. And she was joking when she found out I was the one that ran the prayer shawl ministry. She could use a shawl. So I'm using the cerulean.
Oh, that's pretty.
That is
And
very
it's just knit moss stitch. And it can be on the bias like that.
Oh, Carrie, that's pretty.
That's pretty.
That's really pretty, Carrie.
Thank you. I wish I still made this colorway because I kind of want to keep it.
I love that color. Beautiful.
But this
Okay,
is,
so Carrie, no one will know if you keep that for yourself and you make her a different one.
We won't
I
tell.
don't have another all blue like this in my stash. Everything else I have is blue.
So just now, while I was counting my stitches for my blanket, it's made in the crocodile stitch. I was counting out the scales because I didn't know how many across it was just now. There's 101.
Wow.
Moly.
And while I was counting them out, listening to y'all, my cat thought it would be fun to chew on the end of my yarn and disconnect my ball of yarn.
Oh no.
I've never seen that before.
On the bright side, I'm glad I was at the end of my row, so
Oh gosh, yeah.
not in the middle of a scale or something.
Yeah, because that stitch is not the easiest to do, or the quickest, I should say.
No.
Yeah, it works up really quickly. I like it.
That is one stitch I have never done. I've done most stitches, I think, but I've never done the crocodile stitch.
I don't think
I
I
love
have
the
either.
crocodile stitch.
I was
It's
looking
almost like-
for something
is it like a
unique
bobble
for a
or-
blanket for me and my husband, and I found that pattern by the Crochet Crowd, and I showed the picture to my husband on my phone. I was like, "What do you think of this one?" He's like, "I like it." I was like, "Okay."
I'm working on one of his patterns too. If I can find the other panel, I don't know what I did with the other panel. I just had it. Well, this is the panel I'm working on right now. It's I forget what he called it. Some sort of poncho. You make 2 panels like this.
Cool.
And I don't know if you can see the detail. It kind of looks like a corner to corner, but it's on the straight.
Oh, wow.
That is pretty.
And I'm using just lime frame woolies. And so anyway, you make 2 of these panels, and then you sew them together like, you know, sort of L-shaped or perpendicular.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be pretty. I found
Sounds pretty.
You know, I don't think I have one single thing that I have made for myself. So I said, I'm going to make myself a poncho because I saw Debbie made one. And I thought, you know, I have never made myself anything. I've given everything away. So
I've only got a handful of things that I made for me. I give all my
me all the time too.
Whew. Rose, I accepted your challenge.
All right.
It's on, baby.
You know it.
What's the challenge? I'm behind on my videos. What challenge?
I am too. I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't caught up.
The words with friends.
Oh,
The game.
Okay.
No challenges.
Wait a minute. Did I miss something?
That's what I was thinking.
Did you guys see Llama Mama's last video?
Oh, yes.
My heart was breaking for her.
Oh, I know.
What's going on?
You know, she's lost a lot of her fingers. Her middle finger is starting to hurt and giving her trouble. She can't even touch it. And she said usually when it starts doing that, it's, you know, she loses it before too long, or it might get better and then it gets bad again. So she was almost in tears. And
yeah, my heart was breaking when I was watching that. So difficult.
I was trying to catch up today while crocheting, and I watched that, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Oh wow! Is that because of her lupus or because of diabetes?
It's Raynaud's or Raynaud's.
Oh, Raynaud's. Okay, I've got Raynaud's too.
Yeah.
What's it? Is that a kidney thing?
It's an autoimmune.
It's an autoimmune.
And it causes neuropathy, and it just causes what is it? I mean, there's just no blood flow to the fingers and toes, and they end up having to be amputated.
Terrible.
I have it, but I have it where my fingers turn white and I get really cold all the time. But I haven't.
I do that.
That's bad.
That sounds awful.
Sounds horrible.
Oh, bless her heart.
Yeah, I was.
But you know, it blows me away how functional she is with the fingers that she has.
Oh yeah.
And it blows me away with what she makes. I did not realize that those looms were that versatile. And
gosh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She's really good.
I've never seen a loom knitter do what she does with the loom.
Right.
I think anything you can do on a regular knitting, you can do with a loom. Because I know when I broke my hands, I had to use a loom for a while, and I made shawls and everything.
Wow,
it's amazing.
She's made
scarves on the loom stuff. Loom knitting actually got me back into yarn, believe it or not. I broke my leg a few years ago, and I was stuck on the couch, and I had nothing to do, and I was tired of the TV, and it was winter, and my husband wasn't home. He was out working with the brine shrimp company out in the cold, and I wanted to make him something that would keep him warm. So I was like, I'm going to loom knit him a scarf because just some random video popped up on my YouTube feed. And I'm like, I want to loom knit him a scarf. So I made my mom take me to the store, and I was sitting in my grandma's old wheelchair because I was too scared to use my leg. And
yeah, cool.
And I picked out the yarn for him and the loom, and I came home and I made him a couple scarves.
Good Knit Kisses has a lot of Good Knit Kisses has a lot of cool patterns and videos.
And Luma Hat.
Yeah.
Is another one that's really good.
Before my
Awesome.
passed, she was in a nursing home, and I wanted to.
Huh? Oh, okay. I will be right back. Just a minute.
I got
Yeah,
to
yeah, a minute.
lady because I wanted to teach the people, especially the ones that were bedfast, how to do it. And she was all for it until it came down to buying the looms and stuff, I guess. I could have provided for sure.
I remember seeing a story in the news about this older guy that was in a nursing home that used to make hats by the hundreds. He would sit in his bed and.
I think he passed recently.
Oh,
wow.
I'm not positive it's the same one, but I'm thinking.
Well, he may have, because he was. I mean, I remember seeing that a year or two ago. So
he's in his 90s.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
mean,
now we've got this young prodigy guy who's doing all the.
I
What
know,
is it,
isn't
Noah?
that amazing?
Is it Noah
Oh
or
my
Joe?
gosh.
I don't remember.
He's
Do
up
what
in
now?
Minnesota or something. Yeah.
What's this?
That's
There's a
11-year-old
young
kid.
9-year-old boy who's doing. They're calling him a crochet prodigy. He's just cranking out projects left, right, and center.
Really?
You'll have to Google
Is he on
him
YouTube?
and watch him crochet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Is he on YouTube?
I know he was on Facebook.
Okay.
I think he's got an Instagram page too, but
Wow.
yeah, I'm sure there's some videos on YouTube of him doing it too.
I'm gonna have to look at, I have not seen that yet.
It's been all over my Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. mine
And
too.
everybody tags you in it. And Lord have mercy, if there's anything that has to do with crocheting and chickens, I get it from all of my friends.
I'm sure you do.
That's
Hey.
with cats.
I'll send them to you now, Becky.
Oh yeah. Like all these little sweaters that you can make for your chickens and stuff. And I'm like, okay.
You're kidding me.
Oh no. There's one with a chicken wearing a pair of crocheted pants running around. I've gotten tagged in that I don't know how many times.
Have you seen the egg apron crochet pattern?
Yes, I have.
I think that's cute.
Mine are lucky they have not become freezer food yet. Because they have not laid me eggs, and I can't tell you how long. But most of them are getting pretty old too. So
Aw.
we like around though. So
Sounds like it's getting to be about time for some coq au vin for dinner one night.
Yum. They have a video of that kid on Good Morning America on YouTube.
Okay.
He's 11 years old. That's amazing. And he's from Minnesota. Yes.
I couldn't remember exactly where he was from, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's from my
wow.
home state. Yeah. Very
So
cool.
he's crocheting out of self-defense.
Yeah. That's
He's
amazing.
crocheting out of self-defense. Is that what you said?
It's for I think it's for domestic violence and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Cold in
okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah. And he's won ribbons at the state fair and county fairs. That's cool.
Of course, like when I go to find one of the like 15 things that have been on my Facebook feed, I can't find one to send you.
Oh, I'll find it. No worries.
Sorry about that, y'all. My
Welcome
30-year-old
back.
decided she needed my help to wipe her butt.
Oh, the joys of parenting.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real.
Middle of a chat with real people for once. Can't your dad do it? No.
Dana, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm eating my pizza.
Yum.
Eating, and she's just listening to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing to go get my dinner.
Because you probably won't ever see him on a video because he doesn't come upstairs very much.
Aw.
I'm surprised mine aren't in here.
See, hi.
I left my door open. Huh?
Mine was
Hi,
hunting
kitty.
the stink bug that was in here bothering me earlier. We call her
boy.
Chloe Bug because she chases and eats bugs
Oh no.
all the time.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
I see, I just
No.
left
Afraid she's gonna
Pippin.
get hold of a wasp or something one day.
This is how I just left Pippin downstairs on my husband.
Oh,
Aw.
That's cute.
So
My
cute.
cats are worthless with bugs. Forget it. They'll go
My
after lizards.
cat. So this cat that I just showed you and my puppy that I showed you earlier, they play. and it's the craziest thing because they will like just play together, and he plays with the puppy, and they'll go after each other to play, and it's the cutest thing. And they don't fight, and it's like, oh my gosh. I keep meaning to get a video up on my channel, but every time I see it, my phone's being used by one of my kids. So,
Of course.
I can't believe there are 10 of us on here. This is wild.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a party.
I was expecting Mimi to come too. She was talking about coming
Yeah,
on.
I saw that. I hope maybe she just forgot. I don't know.
Santa would come.
Yeah.
That would be
So-
really.
So what's the temperature where you guys are at? It finally warmed up here.
It warmed up here too.
I'm in North
It
Carolina.
is
It was
46 here.
Oh, that's good.
like the 60s here today.
Yeah, it's 45 in North Carolina.
That's good.
it's,
What'd you say?
Minnesota was in the 20s, so that's good.
it is. I don't pay attention to the weather, so give me a minute to look it up on my phone.
People are here right now.
It's 108 here in Australia.
I was gonna say you're in
108.
summer in Australia.
A phone says it's 50 degrees right now.
Wait a minute. What did you say, Gypsy?
108
Is that Fahrenheit or
In
Celsius?
Australia.
Fahrenheit.
If it was
transferred
Celsius, she'd be on fire.
Yeah, I'm on fire now.
Bless your heart. Do you have y'all have central air? I
like
hope.
43 or in Celsius.
Oh my goodness.
It's hot.
Hey, Gypsy, you need
Yeah.
some ice, baby.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You just got some ice, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did just get some ice yarn delivered. That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love your songs, Gypsy.
I had to show that to my boyfriend today.
Oh, I can't
No, I'm
help it.
gonna
I
send
can't
her
help
something
it.
just so she'll write a song.
I'm
Well,
one of
at
those
least-
people that somebody says something and I have to turn it into a song. It drives everybody nuts. And
I
sometimes
love
At
it.
least
my
At
kids will
least you
say
can
something
sing.
and then they'll go, "Oh, Mum's gonna sing."
Be like Weird Al and do stuff like that, like the rice.
What are you making, Rose?
I am making a pillow to match the crazy bright blanket.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Wow.
Ooh,
I
pretty.
love that. I love the bright
That's
colors.
pretty cool.
It's just a
I
mini
just saw all the
version-
bright colors and I had to know what it was for.
Yeah, it's just a mini version of the blanket that I made. And turn this into a pillow.
Nice.
Cool.
So
That's pretty cool.
we're getting there.
Gypsy, I noticed your nails in that video. I think it was that you did the swap video, the swap
Oh,
song.
they're killer.
They
Yeah.
are so pretty. But
That's awesome.
did it take a
Yeah.
long time to get used to the
Oh,
length?
yeah.
When I first, I'm used to the length. I've had them like this for a couple of years now. The
Can you
points,
drink, Tyler?
I find when I used to have them square before I started
Joe, can you bring
crocheting,
Ty a drink?
and they would get caught in the yarn, but because they're pointy, they just slide in and out really easily, so they don't give me any trouble that they're pointing. Changing nappies or diapers, you have to be a bit careful because they're really sharp when I first get them done.
Oh, I bet. Oh my
I would
goodness.
poke my eyeball out trying to get my contacts in.
I wouldn't be able to type.
I've always
yeah,
wanted
so-
nails like that, but they always break. Every time I get them like that, I always end up breaking them.
What is it difficult to use your phone, like the touch screen?
I mean, you just adapt, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look at Kayla from Llama Mama. You just adapt.
Oh
like-
yeah.
Oh,
She's like
yeah.
Queen of Loom. She could like loom knit straw into gold like Rumpelstiltskin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is neat about the looms that I did not realize at all is that you can make pretty dense or tight fabric using those large gauge like Nifty Knitter looms and regular worsted weight yarn just by changing the way that you wrap the loom. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I've got tighter gauge ones that I can use to knit socks.
Yeah. But I think it was Luma Hat that had the blue Nifty Knitter. So, I mean, it was a large gauge loom. All she had was one strand of worsted weight yarn.
Oh,
And
wow.
the way that she wrapped the loom, I think she did what she called it a U-stitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like
Yeah,
like
the
using
U-stitch is
crochet.
basically- Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was kind of blown away by that.
Joe.
Because I really thought that if you used a loom, you had to either use bulky yarn or two strands held together.
Yeah, I used to use just the bulky for hats.
Mm-hmm.
They're so squishy too.
Well, I love her little amigurumis on the
I
loom.
know
I
that
think they're
little
pretty.
hot chocolate
They're
mug
so cute.
with the marshmallows.
Itty bitty little marshmallows.
I was like,
Oh,
how in
yeah.
the world do you do that on a loom?
Right?
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous. I have no idea how she did it. I can't even
Send
do
it to Ella.
Oh yeah, she sent it to Ella.
Cool.
All right, ladies, I'm going to hop off here so the recording will stop. I've got to get my son moving. He's got to get in the shower before church tomorrow.
I have
And I got to have some supper, and I don't want to sit here and nom nom in front of everybody. So y'all have a good night. It
You
will.
wouldn't bother us.
I know. It would bother me, though. So I don't know if this is going to kick y'all out or not. I'm going to stop the recording. And because for some, I guess I've got it set up so that every time I start a meeting, it records. But I'll only post, well, I guess I could post both of them. I don't know. But anyway, my point is that if y'all want to come back in, you can, because I don't have to be here, as you all know, for y'all to talk.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
if it does cut you off and you want to come back in, go for it. But otherwise, y'all have a good night.
You
Have a good night,
too.
Melanie.
I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Melanie.